Snow fell in slow, silent flakes, coating the broken porch steps of the old cabin like a thin blanket of mercy. Inside, a dim oil lamp flickered against the drafty walls as Emma Turner wrapped her arms around her shivering children. 8-year-old Noah leaned against her side, trying to be brave. 4-year-old Lily whimpered softly, rubbing her numb hands together. It was Christmas Eve, yet nothing about the night felt festive. Christmas wasn't something they had planned to celebrate this year. Not after losing Daniel, her husband, their father, only 6 months earlier in a factory accident. The insurance had barely paid anything. The debts had taken everything else. Now this, a broken-down cabin in the middle of nowhere, a failing generator and temperatures dropping lower by the hour. Emma closed her eyes, forcing a smile for the kids. "It's okay," she whispered, rubbing their shoulders. "It'll get warmer soon." But that was a lie. The generator had died an hour ago. She didn't have the tools to fix it. She didn't have anything left, not after driving all day hopping to find shelter, any shelter. The cabin belonged to an old friend of Daniel, who had offered it temporarily. But Emma hadn't known it would be this rundown, this isolated, this cold. Lily sniffed, "Mommy, I'm hungry." Emma swallowed the knot in her throat. "I know, baby." The last can of soup sat empty beside the forgotten stove. They hadn't eaten since noon. A strong gust of icy wind slammed against the door, and Emma held her children tighter. "Just a few more hours," she whispered to herself. "Just until morning. I'll figure something out." But deep inside, fear curled like a fist. She had no car now, its battery died on the road. No phone signal, no neighbors, no heat, no help. Her fingers trembled as she pulled the thin blanket over the kids. "Everything's fine," she said again. Noah looked at her with Daniel's same determined eyes. "Mom, you're cold too. You don't always have to pretend you're not." The honesty cracked her composure like glass. Before she could answer, a sudden thud echoed from outside. Emma froze. Another thud, heavy footsteps crunching in the snow, coming closer. Her breath caught in her chest. She grabbed the rusted fire poker, the only thing resembling a weapon, and rose silently. No one should have been out here. No one even knew they were here. Then, a hard knock rattled the door. Emma's heart hammered against her ribs. She stepped forward, voice trembling. Who is it?" A deep, steady voice answered. "Ma'am, I'm not here to hurt you. My name is Cole Maddox. I'm an ex-Navy SEAL. I was driving home and saw a stalled car on the road. It looked abandoned. I followed the tracks to this cabin." Emma's grip loosened slightly. She didn't believe him, not fully, but his voice carried something calm, grounded, trained. Then he said something that made her chest tighten. "There are small footprints in the snow," he continued softly. "Kids shouldn't be out in this cold. May I come in?" Emma hesitated, fear warred with desperation. If he was dangerous, they were in trouble, but if he was... She glanced at her children, shivering, pale, exhausted. She unlocked the door. The wind burst in first, then a tall figure stepped inside. He wore a heavy tactical jacket dusted with snow, a military-grade backpack slung over his shoulder. His eyes, sharp but warm, immediately scanned the cabin, assessing everything in seconds the way trained soldiers do. Then his expression softened when he saw the kids. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "this place is below freezing. You can't stay here." Emma opened her mouth, but her voice cracked. "Where else are we supposed to go?" Cole knelt beside the children, offering a gentle smile. "Hey, you two, cold night, huh?" Noah nodded but didn't speak. Lily hid behind her mother. Emma swallowed. "We'll manage until morning. Thank you for checking, but we'll be okay." Cole shook his head once. "No, you won't." She stiffened, ready to defend herself again, but his tone wasn't condescending. It was factual, calculated, concerned. "You haven't eaten," he said. "Your generator's dead, and the temperature's dropping to 15 degrees before dawn." Emma stared. stunned that he could read the situation so quickly. Cole met her eyes. "Let me help you, please." Emma's voice was barely a whisper. "Why? You don't even know us." Cole paused, a flicker of pain crossing his features. "Because I've been where your kids are," he said quietly. "Cold, hungry, alone, but I didn't have anyone to help me. They do." Emma's chest tightened. Cole stood, gently brushing snow from his jacket. "My truck is heated. I have food, blankets, supplies. I can take you somewhere safe." Emma bit her lip, torn between fear and the fragile hope she hadn't felt in months. He extended his hand, not demanding, not rushing, just offering. "Come with me," he said softly. And for the first time that night, the dread eased and something else took its place. Trust. Emma inhaled shakily and took his hand. The moment they stepped outside, the cold slapped them like a sheet of ice. Cole immediately scooped Lily into his arms, wrapping her in his thick jacket. Noah trudged beside him, clutching Emma's hand as they followed the flashlight beam through swirling snow. Cole moved with calm efficiency, scanning the surroundings out of habit. Emma noticed the way he positioned himself slightly ahead of them, shielding them from wind, checking for any threats, guiding them through the steep patches. Even his footsteps were steady, confident, protective. "How far is your truck?" she asked, breath fogging in the night air. "Just another couple 100 feet," Cole answered. "I parked off the main road so the snowplows wouldn't block it." Lily's voice came out small. "Are you Santa?" Cole chuckled softly. "Not even close, sweetheart." "You brought presents," she said sleepily. He tightened his arms around her in a gentle hug. "Well, maybe some warm food counts as a present tonight." Emma watched him carefully. He was a stranger, yet the way he held her daughter looked more secure than anything she'd felt in months. When his truck finally came into view, a large, armored-looking off-road vehicle, Emma exhaled in relief. Cole opened the back door, revealing neatly packed emergency gear, thermal blankets, medical kits, and ration packs. "Whoa," Noah breathed. "Are you like a superhero or something?" Cole smiled. "No, just prepared." He handed each child a warm, self-heating ration pouch and wrapped thick thermal blankets around them. Emma lowered herself into the backseat, instantly feeling heat seep into her freezing bones. Cole shut the door gently, then walked around to the driver's side. "Where will you take us?" she asked once he climbed in. "There's a safe shelter about 10 miles out," he replied. "I volunteer there sometimes. They'll have beds and hot meals." Emma looked down, shame creeping in. "I didn't want to end up like this. I didn't know what else to do." Cole's voice softened. "You did what you had to do for your kids. That's bravery, nothing to be ashamed of." Emma blinked back tears. The truck hummed along the dark, snowy road, headlights cutting through the storm. The kids slowly drifted to sleep, exhaustion overtaking fear. After a long silence, Emma spoke quietly. "You said you've been where they are. What did you mean?" Cole kept his eyes on the road. "My mom was alone too. Dad left when I was 4. It was just us bouncing from place to place. Some nights we slept in the truck. Some nights we didn't eat. She worked 3 jobs just to keep us alive." Emma listened, heart aching. "Christmas was always the worst," he continued softly. "Most families spent it warm, safe, but we were cold, hungry, forgotten." Emma looked at his strong profile. The same man who had carried her daughter like she weighed nothing, who had spoken to her son like he mattered, who had shown up on the very night she needed a miracle most. "I promised myself," Cole said quietly, "that when I grew up, no kid near me would ever feel what I felt." Emma's eyes filled again. She turned her face away, embarrassed. "You're doing more than enough tonight," she whispered. Cole didn't answer immediately. When he finally spoke, his voice was lower, almost regretful. "I should have found you sooner." Emma frowned. "What?" Cole cleared his throat. "When I saw your car on the road earlier today, I checked it but didn't see anyone. Maybe I should have looked harder. Maybe I should have followed the tracks sooner. Emma shook her head. Cole, you saved us. That's all that matters. He didn't respond, but she saw the tension ease from his shoulders. Minutes later, a flashing hazard light appeared ahead, someone else on the road, stuck. Cole slowed, frowning. That's strange. No one should be out here tonight. As they approached, Emma's stomach knotted. A dented pickup truck was half buried in the snowbank, smoke rising from the hood. And beside it stood two men, rough-looking, unshaven, arguing loudly. Cole muttered, "Stay in the truck. Lock the doors." Emma's pulse raced. "Cole, what are you?" But he was already out, stepping into the snow with a seal's deliberate calm. The men turned toward him, scowling. "Evening," Cole said, hands visible, voice steady. "Car trouble." The taller man spat on the ground. "Mind your own business." Emma's grip tightened around the sleeping kids. Something felt wrong. The second man shifted his jacket, revealing the handle of a knife. Cole remained unflinching. "Do you need assistance or not?" The taller man sneered. "Actually, yeah, we need your truck, keys now." Emma's breath caught. Cole's jaw flexed. Slowly he raised his hands. "My truck has children inside." "We don't care," the man snapped. "Keys." Cole exhaled. "No." The taller man lunged first. Cole shifted his weight, dodging effortlessly, grabbing the man's arm and flipping him face first into the snow. The second man rushed forward with the knife, but Cole sidestepped, trapping his wrist and twisting until the blade clattered to the ground. Within seconds, both men were pinned, gasping in pain. Emma's heart pounded in awe and terror. Cole leaned down, voice icy. "You don't threaten kids. You don't threaten families. Walk away now." The men scrambled up and disappeared into the woods without looking back. Cole retrieved the knife, pocketed it, and returned to the truck with snow on his gloves. Emma stared at him, stunned. "How did you?" He simply gave a small shrug. "Training." When the truck reached the shelter, a warm, glowing building decorated with simple Christmas lights, Emma burst into tears of relief. Volunteers rushed out, helping the sleeping children inside. Cole walked beside her, lightly touching her arm. "You're safe, they're safe." Emma turned to him, voice trembling. "Why didn't you walk away? You could have just reported us. You didn't have to take us here. You didn't have to fight for us." Cole looked at her with quiet sincerity. The shelter's warmth was like stepping into another world. The moment Emma entered, the scent of hot cocoa and fresh soup wrapped around her. Volunteers placed thick blankets on the kids and tucked them into clean beds. Lily mumbled in her sleep, cheeks pink for the first time all day. Noah, half awake, whispered, "Mom, I like it here." Emma knelt and stroked his hair. "Me too." A volunteer approached. "We'll keep them warm tonight. You should rest too." Emma nodded, but her eyes drifted back to the hallway where Cole had stood only moments earlier, except now he was gone. She found him outside near the entrance, leaning against a pillar as snow dusted his jacket. He looked distant, hands deep in his pockets, breath misting in the cold. "You should be inside," Emma said gently. "You're freezing." Cole offered a faint smile. "I've been through colder." Emma stepped closer. "Don't minimize what you did for us." Cole hesitated, like he wasn't used to gratitude. "You don't owe me anything." "I know," she said softly. "That's why it means so much." Cole looked down, jaw tightening. "When I saw that cabin, saw your kids, it brought back memories. I swore I'd never let anyone else go through what I did." Emma studied him. The strength, the scars under his calm exterior, the loneliness he carried like a shadow. "You kept your promise," she whispered. A long silence hung between them, filled only by soft falling snow. "Emma," he said finally, voice low, "tomorrow the shelter, going to help you find a better place. And if it's not overstepping, I'd like to keep helping, not because you need someone to rescue you, but because I'd like to." Her breath caught. "Why?" He met her eyes, really met them. Because you're strong, he said. Because your kids are incredible. Because Daniel would have wanted someone to look out for you until you could stand again. And because... He stopped. Because what, Cole? He looked away, struggling. Because when you opened that door tonight, it felt like I walked into something I didn't know I'd been searching for. Heat flooded her cheeks despite the cold. Emma stepped closer, heart pounding. You didn't just save us, she whispered. You gave us back hope. Cole swallowed hard. Emma. But before he could finish, small footsteps pattered onto the porch. Noah stood there, blanket wrapped around his shoulders. Cole. Cole turned. Hey, buddy, you should be in bed. Noah shook his head and walked forward until he stood right in front of him. Are you coming back tomorrow? He asked quietly. Cole hesitated. Emma held her breath. Noah's voice cracked. Please, I feel safe when you're here. The words hit Cole harder than any fight he'd ever been in. His expression softened painfully. He lowered himself to one knee. Yeah, kid, I'll be back. Noah threw his arms around him, and Cole hugged him back with a gentleness that made Emma's eyes burn. After Noah went back inside, Cole stood again, exhaling shakily. Kids have a way of breaking you open, he murmured. Emma wiped her eyes. Sometimes that's exactly what we need. Cole gave a small smile. Get some rest. I'll be here first thing in the morning. Emma reached out and touched his hand. Warm, solid, grounding. Thank you, she whispered, for everything. Cole squeezed her hand lightly. Good night, Emma. She turned to go inside, then paused. Cole. He looked up. Tomorrow, when you come back, stay for breakfast, with us. A surprised warmth flickered in his eyes. He nodded. I'd like that. Emma smiled, truly smiled, for the first time in months. And as she stepped into the shelter's warm light, she realized something she never expected to feel again. They weren't alone anymore. Not tonight. Not tomorrow. Not ever again, if Cole Maddox kept his promise. And judging by the look in his eyes, he would.